How's it going, everyone? Derek here with Zelda Theory, and here's a video that you guys requested in a poll recently, and this is Master Mode of the beginning trials for the DLC of Breath of the Wild. So where do I begin? It was extremely difficult, so I guess I can start at the beginning with preparation. You're definitely going to want to prep before you come in here. You want to have a level 3 attack boost for sure. And I believe the recipe is 3 mighty bananas, a mighty thistle, and a piece of farosh horn. I think that's how you say it. And that'll give you the max duration, which is 30 minutes in the game. That's the highest you can have as far as duration. And it's going to give you the highest attack boost because you're going to need it. Because again, this is master mode and things are going to be extremely difficult in the first couple floors because you literally, as you can see, you have nothing except Link and his underwear and the runes which brings me into my next point. You want to make sure that you have the bombs as well as stasis upgraded to their plus version. That's going to help you out tremendously. So let's get into the meat of this. So you're going to want on the first floor, try and utilize the sneak ability because that's really all that you have to work with. Ignore the tree branch because the branches are just completely pointless. Your bombs are going to be more important here. As you can see, I tried to be sneaky and Sheikah-like, and it did not work out. I completely fell and gave my position away. So just spam bombs here. Like, if you have them upgraded, their reload times are extremely fast, and it's going to help in the process of clearing these floors because, again, you start out with nothing. The attack boost is going to help as well, so you should start to see their health dwindle. You're going to start seeing their health regenerate as well. That's just part of the master mode if you didn't know that, which is extremely annoying. But hey, we all wanted a challenge, right? And that's what Nintendo gave us with the Trial of the Sword DLC. It's extremely hard. I kind of feel like they made this as a way to please the veterans of the series because this is hard, really hard. And I'm really proud that I got through this with no glitches or hacks or anything like that. So once you clear out the bokoblins, you want to make sure that you pick up all of their weapons and then destroy all of the wooden crates and barrels that you see, because in those barrels you are going to come across things that you can cook as well as arrows and weapons majority of the time. Pretty sure that this is random, but you still get something, so you always want to go and make sure that you get those. Now for floor 2, you have a couple archers, which makes things a little difficult here. I believe in this footage I was actually trying to be stealthy again, but I fall off the tree yet again. It was either that or I just got impatient and I wanted to just go and whack the crap out of them. So yeah, just make sure the order of attack here is usually you taking out the archers, the ranged enemies first, because they can just sneak up on you and destroy you, especially on master mode and no armor. So I would recommend taking them out first. However, I did not do this in this footage. And as you can see, the archers are just completely taking me out. Like, that's why I always recommend taking them out first. And it just didn't work out for me. That's again why the health buff is so crucial as well, because you get those temporary hearts and it gives you kind of a stagger. You can basically take more hits, if that makes sense. So there's two ways. You can either use the fire choo-choo to parachute yourself up onto the ledge and take them out that way, or you can just use your bomb still. As far as the time for your attack up boost, you do only have 30 minutes, so you want to rush, but at the same time, patience is the most important thing in these trials, because the second you start to rush things, trust me, I know from experience, it does not end well. So you see me here again, we're cutting through just all the stuff that is not really important, and I decided to use the flame from the fire choo-choo and get back up on here. And then collected all the arrows that were being shot around because those are going to be extremely beneficial in the upcoming floors. And then you can continue to bomb the Hades out of these bokoblins. And then you will get to go on to the next floor. Again, you always want to make sure that you're breaking these crates and these wooden barrels because they always have extra goodies in there. As far as the bridge there to the left, I would not recommend cutting that down just because it only benefits the enemies. Alright, so floor 3 is probably the easiest floor in the beginning trials. There's one blue choo-choo and then there's 2 rounds of 4 fire red choo-choos. And what you see me doing on the screen here is I'm actually luring them over to either the north or the south. There's 2 treasure chests on each side, and in my opinion, they help tremendously in completing the beginning trials on Master Mode. So one is a boomerang, and then I think the next one was some fire arrows, if I remember correctly. There's 2 ways you can, there's actually many ways, but the way I did it, you can just ride the up current from the fire that the choo-choos leave behind, and you can get the treasure chest that way. Other things worth noting on this floor is just to make sure that you're not in the blast radius of the fire choo-choos when they explode. That got me so many times, and I'm not gonna lie, it was very frustrating. I feel like I killed myself more than the enemies did. Now we're on floor 4, and the strategy here was that I was trying to get the attention of this bokoblin that was on the floor with the spear to take him out by one-on-one. But it did not work out that way. For some reason, I alerted all of the bokoblins, and including the archers, and they started firing crazily at me. Like, I'm surprised I dodged most of that. But again, on this floor, you can just spam the bombs. Now, once you come across this black bokoblin, you want to be extremely patient because he has the soldier's, I think it's the soldier's sword or the broadsword, and then the soldier's shield. There we go. And those hurt tremendously, so you want to make sure that you're being precautious and hitting parries and everything possible, shield bashes, all of that to your advantage. You can also use the Boko Bat to knock the equipment out of their hands. That might help you. I know that helped me a couple times when I was on these floors. And then you just scale the platform that the enemies are on. You can take them out one by one with the bow if you get some headshots, which are I try to be Legolas with. And I nailed that one pretty well, I think. So these are very intimidating. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was so frustrated for the longest time, but once you figure out the attack patterns and everything, and you utilize the game's mechanics and like the flurry rushes and everything, you'll be golden. You'll get it, I have no doubt. For this floor, you're gonna want to kind of get the attention of the moblins and take them out one by one. The last thing you need is all of these enemies attacking you, and the majority of the enemies, the moblins and the bokoblins on this floor, have long spears, which are Link's worst enemy when he does not have any armor to protect him. So you can utilize your flurry rushes here. You can spam the bombs. You can utilize Stasis Plus here. I know that helped me a lot. You don't see that a lot on screen until later down in the later floors in this video, but I did end up using Stasis a lot. Now, as far as the enemies in the skull, you can shoot the lantern up that's hanging on the ceiling, and it will drop down and explode and take out a majority of the enemies in there, and then you only have to deal with a couple more. You see me on the footage here, like trying to be Evil Knievel and collecting all the goodies in here before I take them out. Now, I would recommend to take out the enemies first, and if the weapons do actually burn up, then honestly I would just let it go, because the important part is getting these guys gone. I thought this was pretty cool to leave in I'm fighting this Bokoblin. He picked up a Korok leaf and literally smacks me upside the head with it. I did not actually know that enemies could use the Korok leaf and attack Link with it. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I decided to leave that in the footage. Thought that was pretty sweet. Alright, so we have about 10 minutes left of our buff, which is more than enough time. The 6th floor has just a regular stone talus. You can utilize any of the strategies that you used in the actual game. You can get up on him and spin to win. That does require a lot of stamina though, so if you don't have as much stamina, that strategy is not going to be the best. The other strategy you can do is stasis, so you can freeze the talus with stasis plus. That was a tongue twister. You can freeze the stone talus with stasis plus and shoot the gold, whatever, the rock on top of his head, and that'll knock him over, and that'll allow you to get up and just whack the crap out of a weak spot. So the stone talus wasn't that difficult, but things are going to start to get a lot more difficult from here on out. Alright, so now we have a little bit of a rest floor. If you played Wind Waker, this is pretty much the same thing. I highly recommend that you focus on getting the fairy first. You have to be extremely quiet in order to get the fairy. Do not let that go away, because that is literally going to save your life. I know it saved me many times. And I don't consider myself an extremely good Zelda game player, if that made any sense. I'm not really skilled as far as all these YouTubers I'm watching, but I feel like I'm pretty good, and it did save my life a lot. So definitely take full advantage of all the goodies in this room, and then once you collect all the goodies, you want to collect the goodies and then make meals so that you can restore your life, and potentially, if your attack boost is about to run out, you can replace it with something else. Definitely the duration is not going to be as long, but you'll still benefit from the buffs. This is where things get a little difficult. I tried to stealth attack this Lizalfos, and he completely read my movements. Luckily, I was fast enough to jump out of the way before he stabbed me in the head. But yeah, so he's done. That spear that you get in the floor before is really helpful. I tried to take this guy out as well, and it just did not work out for me. I believe I ended up using stasis on this guy just to kind of speed up the process a little bit. Oh, that's something I forgot to mention. You can actually use stasis plus to kind of scan the area for enemies or items or weapons that you can collect, if that makes sense. And especially in these later floors in the beginning trials, it's going to be very difficult. So you want to make sure that you get as many weapons and items and cookable abilities and cookable items as possible. Now, in that last little clip, I was trying to get all of the Lizalfos separately, but it ended up pushing them and ganging up against me, so that did not work out the way I intended. I definitely would recommend just trying to get them one-on-one. If you can't, just be patient and utilize your flurry rushes to the best of your ability and just take them out one by one on the platform. You can always run back to the beginning platform and just hide and regroup from there, but it just depends on your playstyle. If you want to run in guns blazing, or if you just want to utilize your bomb spams, whatever. So I would definitely break all the barrels and get this treasure chest for sure, because it's going to give you a 10 pack of arrows, which is going to be extremely useful on the next coming floors. Floor 9 is one of the difficult ones. You want to make sure that you get these Octorocks out of the way as soon as possible so you can focus on the next enemy up there. Definitely get these treasure chests as well, because you will get a bundle of arrows and a better bow, which is the best one that we can get so far in the beginning trials. So to take this guy out, just Utilize your stasis plus is probably the easiest thing that you can do. You can shoot him in the head, and that'll like make him incapacitated for a little bit, and then you can just shoot him again. So utilize stasis for sure there, and then you want to make sure that you get the lightning rod that he drops, because that's going to be extremely useful in the next floor. And again, this is me showing off Stasis Plus, and it's scanning the room to make sure that we got everything. So this is extremely important. You want to make sure as soon as you get onto floor 10 that you use Stasis and freeze the Lizalfos, the blue Lizalfos in the middle, because if you don't, he will alert the silver Lizalfos and you will die. I'm just saying that as bluntly as possible. You will die, and it'll be impossible to beat this because they'll knock you into the water, and then they get into the water, and it's just over. Trust me, it's very hard. So just do what I'm doing on the screen. You can abuse the crap out of the sneak strike hack that I'm not going to say that I found out, but it's extremely useful against these guys. So you can just quietly sneak up behind them and then utilize the sneak strike, and as soon as they respawn, just keep doing it over and over again, and that's pretty much it for that floor. It can be a little intimidating at first. Just make sure that you hit that first blue Bokoblin with Stasis Plus, and you should be good to go. And then we're just getting all of the goodies on this floor. Definitely utilize all of the goodies and get everything possible. Definitely get that enhanced Lizal Spear that is in the skull over here. I think that has an attack of 18, which is extremely invaluable. Extremely valuable. You get plenty of arrows over here as well. And if I remember correctly, what was in here? What was in this chest? Long story short, you definitely want to get everything possible because, trust me, you're going to want to. Alright, so this is floor 11. You're going to want to scan the area with Stasis Plus just to see where your enemies are at and what you're looking at on this floor. You definitely want as soon as possible to take out these archer Bokoblins right here, because they are using fire arrows to try and attack Link. It's not really that difficult, however, you're going to have multiple Bokoblins shooting at you at one time, so you want to make sure that you're moving constantly and then trying to nail the headshots. I think I did a pretty good job here. I think I'm okay with the bow. I could always be better, I guess, but yeah, that regen on Master Mode is just a killer. Like, not even 2 seconds without attacking, and they start to regen their health. So take them out as quickly as possible. And honestly, the best benefit of this floor is that it is surrounded by water, and we're going to utilize that in a minute here. Again, as on the previous floors, you want to make sure that you utilize all of the treasure chests and that you get all of the dropped weapons so that you can utilize them. Check all of the nooks and crannies, as in every typical Zelda game. I love that animation of when Link hits the metal treasure chest. I think it's so cool. Alright, so here I'm just trying to take out some of the Bokoblins with some headshots. I did not shoot him back far enough, which is a drag, and then it attracted all of the other Bokoblins now that everybody knows where I'm at. And that was a stupid thing on my part. So eventually I'm going to get sick of trying to do this, and then I just run over there and start spamming bombs and literally knocking them over the edge, and the water kills them in one hit. So that's pretty cool. You can utilize the water and knock the Bokoblins in the water and it kills them instantly. So definitely with this silver Bokoblin, make sure you utilize the water and knock him in the water, and then claim his soldier broadsword and the soldier shield. That is going to help you tremendously as well on the next floor. And you can always use magnesis to get anything metal that falls into the water. Again, you guessed it, make sure you break all of the barrels before you leave the floor. Now this lightning rod is going to come in handy, particularly right here, because we're going to zap this guy to steal his very highly advanced weaponry, and that's going to help us on the next floor as well. And then once you steal his weapons, you can zap him again and use your bombs to literally bomb this guy into the water, and literally the water is your best asset on this floor. Utilize it heavily. And that should have been the last enemy. Alright, so we should only have one floor left if my memory serves me correct, which will be the final boss of the beginning trials. Super cool. You guessed it. More and more barrels. And you can cook all this stuff again to make some meals to help you out in the next floor. Not on the next floor, but in general, because there's only one floor left. Alright, so here we go. This is the final level of the beginning trials. I don't know why I decided to cut that tree down, because it instantly announced my presence to this, the Hinox, the black Hinox. So Stasis Plus is your best friend here. Just make sure you utilize it and shoot him in the eye. That'll knock him over, and then use your strongest weapons to literally beat the crap out of him. You can steal the high-end equipment on his neck, the Knight's Shield and the Knight's Broadsword. I think that's a 36 attack, if I remember correctly. Yep, so just abuse the crap out of the Stasis Plus and you should come out here with no problems at all. Just make sure you watch out for his attack patterns, and when he gets ready to do his slam attack, that can literally kill you in one hit, where he does the animation where he slams on the ground like Donkey Kong. You definitely want to watch out for that. Alright, so of course this is something that will not exist in the real world of the story of Breath of the Wild, so the enemies don't drop any goodies. So there you have it. That is the end of the trials. So all in all, I'm not gonna lie, it is very hard. Like, I struggled so many times. I literally think I recorded at least 50 times, and then the 51st time I just got it. So hopefully it doesn't take you that long to nail this. But again, there is 2 more trials. There is, I forgot what they're called. I think the middle trials and then something else. But once you complete the beginning trials, you will get the Master Sword powered up 1 time, which is the attack goes from 30 to 40. It still does lose its power after a couple swipes. I don't remember exactly how many, but it's not fully powered yet until you complete the next 2 trials. So if you want me to make videos on the next 2 trials, let me know. I really appreciate you guys checking this out, and you already know I appreciate your time so much. You mean the absolute world to me, and I just appreciate everything in your time. Until next time, continue to be the light, and remember, it is dangerous to go alone. Take a minute and select another video on the channel. Everything Zelda here, so I hope you enjoy everything that is to come. Much peace and love. Take care.